When we speak about the history of colonization, we speak about the European countries creating their colonial empires in the world. We cannot speak of anything positive, I think. It's maybe the worst crime which ever happened in the world, that European nations went out into the world and destroyed cultures, civilizations, brought them into slavery. They just wanted to get the resources of the country, and either they made it with the contracts with the people there, or they just came there with military and killed them. Or many times they had two tribes fighting and they supported one tribe and helped them to overthrow the other tribe, and then they had their trade partners. So this was the strategy. Before they came to India, the main trade product of the colonies were slaves. This was the thing which brought the money. And there was a time when in Lisbon, every year, around 12,000 slaves were sold in the market of Lisbon. In April 1974, on the 24th of April, in the Catholic radio, the forbidden song Grande la Villa Morena was played. And then all the population knew, now we will do it. Now there's a change is there. If the Catholic radio dares to play this song. 18 hours, the whole revolution was over. In 18 hours, the longest dictatorship of Europe has been overthrown. Because they didn't find much resistance. The most soldiers and army did join the uprising very fast. But now we have again, I would say, an occupied country, occupied by globalization. Yeah, we don't have a free country. Also here, I mean, like Germany, like all the other countries, it's again an occupation, I would say. And the next revolution must be a deeper one.
On an official level, the countries were set free. But the exploitation and the dependency, which was represented by the suppression of the government and the military and the army, today is represented by the multinational companies. And so it still exists and it's important. All the revolution that happened with India and all the African countries in South America, colonialization is still existing. And even more cruel in some places as it existed before, because it's hidden. It's hidden under a so-called democracy or under a so-called free elections and all this. I think it's important to know for European countries and all over the world. We live in a century of colonization all over the world.
One really can become depressive to see this, to face this, and that there are some little movements growing. But it's going on and it's going on, and now the question how to step out of this kind of much more hidden violence. And there we will enter the next issue. For what we had the last week was the prehistorical utopia, now to face the situation, and then what can be the key point really to believe in an empowerment which is not only romantic. This is the challenge we are in.
This is also the part of the country where around 80% of all petrochemical substances are gained, gas, petrol, propane, butane, whatever you can refine out of oil it is produced here, and it even has enough to have some overproduction to be able to export it to Spain. One other big issue or question that still remains open also is the whole question of how or what to do with all the so-called dangerous residues or toxic waste, basically, and they don't know what to do with it yet. They have it stored somewhere and they don't know if they shall import it or who is responsible for it, so it remains open. During the days and also during the night when we will be here, we will probably notice a slight variation in the air quality due to normally having north winds, so they are exactly taking all of the pollution over to the city. It's the smell that we know. Some doctors that he has been talking to, in fact, suspect that Sines has a higher cancer rate than any other part of Portugal due to exactly this kind of air pollution. So it seems like there are filters, they have filters and they use filters, but they are probably not maintained, or they are not taken care of in the most appropriate way, and they are probably also not the most advanced ones, technologically speaking. They do as much as the law demands, but not really as much as they could do, and it seems like in times where there will be less inspections, that they bypass also the filters, maybe for maintenance reasons or whatever. So in certain times, certain occasions, you notice this when there's more fog in the air, that they seem to bypass their filter systems. And from my point of view, if we look at the whole economic or financial situation of the country at the moment, we live in a climate of a lot of fear, and people kind of resignate in a way and just accept the things as they are, and only very few people really have the courage to come out and issue their voice or their opinion, and we even notice this in our association in the Quercus.
We are living now since a long time in Alentejo, and we are connected on a global level with the movement to say that we have to create new models on an ecological level and technological level. And for us it's also to look how to connect more with the movements in Portugal, which exist here, to support it and to give that we can cooperate.